right, we got our next caller up on the line. We're supposed to be on the show at the beginning. My man Tyjun Mack coming on at the end of the show. What's going on? What happened? Tell the listeners the story.
Man, good morning, man. How you doing?
Good.
Yeah, man. When you have kids, they tend to like to do stuff while you sleeping. So I have this great 4-year-old who decides that he wants to watch videos and play games on my phone while I'm asleep. And so he just decided to turn off everything this morning. So
he don't want to hear any noises in the background. He wanted to be able to play his games in peace.
Exactly. So when I finally woke up, I'm like, "Where's my phone?" And I missed my start time. So it happens. But you gotta love the kids.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when they're own. If they're other people's kids, you can pass them off. That's the difference between grandparents and parents. The parents feed them all this or the grandparents feed them all this candy, have fun with them, take them to play, take them everywhere, and then they just drop them off like, yeah, here you go. He's at a 15 right now. We'll let you go ahead and handle that. I'm gonna go back to my house and go sleep. All right, man. So we got the Super Bowl tomorrow, but first, big trade going down with the Porzingis trade. Going over to the Mavs. I want to get your thoughts on that. You're not a fan of either team, so I want to get your outside opinion on who you think won this trade.
Well, I think won this trade. Yeah. I gotta go with Dallas. On the early onset of the trade. I think Porzingis is a really, really good talent. A 7'1". I don't even know what position. Does he play small forward? He play power forward? He play center? I'm not sure, right? But he does so much stuff on the court. He can play all three, right? So you got this 7'1" guy who essentially reminds you of Dirk, right? And we know Dirk is a Hall of Famer. So 7'1" guy can play defense. He's a good shot blocker. He moves really well. He's a good shooter. He's stepping out to the 3-point line. All these elements. He's explosive. He will dunk on you. Like all these elements that you want in today's game with big men, because big men are mobile now, right? And big men can do, put the ball on the floor and do a lot of these things. So, he's a perfect fit for the game that we have today. And then pairing him up with Luka, who's a great, ball handler, passer, facilitator. That just works wonders for him. And then you still got Harrison Barnes there, who's giving you about 18 to 20 a game, who's been pretty solid. He's not an all-star, he's not an elite player, but he's a solid player. He's a good, a good player in that system. And so I think that the Mavs, initially from the forefront won this trade. They also got Tim Hardaway Jr., who's a pretty good guard. He can shoot the ball well. And I can't remember the third guy that they got, because they got another player.
Too.
Yeah, Courtney Lee, who's been a solid defender. And he's been one of those players, like, he gets traded a lot and he goes to, like, different teams. But he's like one of them glue guys. Like, you like Courtney Lee when he's healthy. He shoots the ball okay. He plays really, really hard, but he's a good defender. So you like that for Dallas. New York guy back, Dennis Smith Jr. I'm not sure. I was listening to Michael Rappaport in one of his little rants. His rants are like legendary, right? He's like goes completely off the deep end, right?
Off the scale. Yeah.
But when he was talking about Dennis Smith Jr., he was mad because he was like, we just traded for Dennis Smith Jr. He was like, we could have drafted this dude. You know what I'm saying? Instead, we drafted cigarettes, which was Frank Nicotili.
Nilitakina, Frank the Tank.
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out, like, what is New York's, in game now. I like Dennis Smith Jr. I thought Dennis Smith Jr. was a really, really good talent. And I thought that after he had finally came back, that they would try to make it work, and then boom, he got traded. So it'll be good to see, like, how he develops in New York. They gave up two first-round picks, the Mavericks, but if this trade works out for him, those first-round picks are going to be really, really low picks, right? So you're not really giving up much. I think that, I think that it's a fear that with this draft class coming up right now, and this draft class is extremely, extremely deep. Like, there's some really talented players coming out. I probably wouldn't want to give up a first-round pick this season because I think that you can get somebody that might be a franchise player at, like, 15 to 20, right? Like, easily. Like, it is just so deep. But New York is, they don't really have no direction. And when you make trades like that, you could tell that they don't have any direction.
Well,
like
here's their direction. They are all in. Jungle Brother, if you're in the chat room, tell me if I'm wrong. They are all in on KD, all in on Kyrie. If neither one of them works, though, what is the plan going forward? You will have possibly top picks, maybe even be like you just said later on in the first round. But there is smoke talking about KD, and I want to get your thoughts on this. Kyrie, who says, I don't owe anybody jack. So Kyrie's starting to sound like, I don't know what's going through his head. I don't know what exactly he wants to do. He's committed to the Celtics for this year, but it seems like that's it. So that's I think that's their end game. And Knicks fans, let me know if that's not the end game for them. And Zion, the Zion situation, tanking for Zion. I need to start that hashtag.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of knew that they were going to try to tank and try to get one of those three, possible, like I said, 3 to 4 possible franchise players at the top. You got Cam Reddish, you got RJ Barrett, you got Zion Williamson, you got Bol. Those four are probably at the top of the draft class, easily. With Zion being number one, and everybody is like a distant second. Crazy, right? Like, he's like so far ahead of the crowd. But to get KD, like, and here's where I ask New York fans to just be realistic, right? The New York organization ownership has been a mess for some years now. Has been a straight mess for some years now. It has been disorganized. It has been dysfunctional. You just seen this trade. This trade looks like the worst trade on earth. Like, literally, you see some bad trades. You've seen some really, really bad trades. New York was like, you know what? Hold my beer. I can top you, right? And just did it, right? They just did it. I don't know what makes you think that KD is going to go to a disorganized, like just a ran down franchise right now and leave the Warriors, which is one of the best ran organizations in the league. I don't see it. And coming from
Dolan is still the owner. Let's not forget that either.
Still the owner. And coming from, if you look at him coming from OKC, one of the reasons he left OKC is because of the decisions that the ownership was making. James Harden, one of them. Reggie Jackson, another one of them. Serge Ibaka. Serge Ibaka, who's playing really, really well in Toronto, who's been playing at a really, really high level. Those type of decisions make players look and say, do I really want to deal with this organization? I don't think that he goes to New York just on that reason. Like, he's with a franchise that is making great decisions. I don't think he goes backwards. If he leaves, he's going to go to another franchise to make great decisions, not one that is just terribly ran. I don't see it.
Real quick. Let me give a shout out to Jelani of the Wait a Minute Show. I apologize, I didn't mention that. He says, I don't see anything wrong with the trade, but I agree with Tyjun about KD though. And it is wishful thinking. Every team, every fan has wishful thinking. That's the reason why when LeBron Decision Part 1 came up, they had 10 different jerseys of where he was going to go. You already know half of those he wasn't going to go there. You knew he wasn't going to the Clippers. You knew he wasn't going to the Mavericks. Even I knew that. Even Mark Cuban knew that. Even Carlisle knew that. Everybody knew that. So this is another situation where you're going to have KD decision. I don't know if, I guess you're going to call it a decision or whatever, but you're going to have all of these multiple jerseys. He's only going to pick one. So that means it's 1 out of 10 or out of 5. And the Knicks are on the lower end. We all just got to be honest about that.
Yeah, and so like I said, I think that, with that's the situation with KD. With Kyrie, people are blowing up his comments right now. Kyrie already stated at the beginning of the year that he was re-signing with Boston. Now, unless he changes that stance, and he hasn't really said, he hasn't came out and said, I'm not re-signing with Boston. He's just like, I don't really want to talk about this no more. People keep on asking me all these questions. Like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do for me. Like, that's his stance now. Like, I'm going to make the decision that I need to make for me, like, the best decision for me. But he had already said at the beginning of the season, hey, I plan on coming back to Boston. Like, I'm not going to re-sign because it doesn't make sense for me to re-sign. I'll be losing money if I re-sign an extension instead of waiting to become a free agent and signing a max deal. I'll make more money. So I wouldn't just pencil it in as if he's leaving. I think a lot of people are just like, oh, he's upset with Boston. Now you got the rumors that he wants to go play back with LeBron because he called LeBron and apologized to him for what he did in Cleveland. I don't necessarily think that means that, okay, now he's going to go back to go play with LeBron or that he's leaving Boston. I think that's him being a mature player, like growing as a player and growing as an individual, saying, hey, you know what? Like, I realized that I made some mistakes. I made some mistakes and I handled this the wrong way, and I need to really focus on, like, doing what's best for me. And he forced the trade to Boston. So remember, he wanted to get out of Cleveland. It was his choice to leave Cleveland. So when he says, like, I haven't been making decisions for myself, like, no, you did. You decided to leave Cleveland. Like, that was your choice.
Exactly.
So yeah. So, I think there's a little bit of, like, he's still going to be, I think he's going to stay in Boston. But I mean, the Knicks are smart in creating cap space to try to sign 2 big-time free agents. You got a lot of free agents that's going to be on the market this year. You try to swing for the two big fish, which is KD. I consider Kyrie a big fish, especially after you saw, what he did against GS last week, and just his ability when he's playing one-on-one. Like, you just can't stop that dude. And so you always need a player like that. So you get those two players on the squad, and you got some trouble. But I just don't see them both going to New York at all.
Yeah. And we got a comment here. A couple of comments I do got to read. Jelani with the Wait a Minute show. He says, Tyjun, I don't trust Kyrie. He said he would never leave Cleveland. Mo says, laugh out loud, Jelani, what was he supposed to tell those kids? Well, I'm probably going to do the same. Our man Courtney Arden says, I don't trust Kyrie either. He said all of that before the season started. Now the team hasn't met expectation. He's clashing with the young guys. His mind might have changed. Kyrie is playing it smart because of problem. And let's see who the organization is loyal to. And I think it's a business, okay? We all know this. We say this. It's a business. Kyrie is his own business. Boston Celtics are their own business. He's going to do whatever puts him in a prime position to get paid. That's what the end game is for everybody. At the end of the day, he squashed the beef. He squashed the beef with LeBron. That got blown up into saying he wants to play with LeBron again. I don't think that's true. I just think he squashed the beef. They had a conversation, and that doesn't mean anything that he's going to stay or he's going to want to stay there or go to the Lakers.
And also, to point out, he did say he didn't want to leave Cleveland, right? He signed that extension with Cleveland, etc. And that was before LeBron resigned, right? So you got to remember, like, his mindset, or the reason he re-signed with Cleveland was because he was told that he was going to be the franchise player in Cleveland. They were going to build around him. When LeBron came back, that all changed. And we can see that, right? They changed the whole look of that team, and they built around LeBron, not around Kyrie. None of those players that they had there played to any strengths of Kyrie Irving. And he knew that. And so basically he was a second, he was a sidekick He knew that